Hello, this is MythN7, and I'm going to be starting my first YouTube series playing Fade to Silence. This is an early access game. Still has some bugs, but it is a lot of fun and can get frustrating sometimes. I'm going to be starting a brand new game, but it won't be 100% new as I have persistent data. The game is all about after 6 lives it forces you to start over like I am right now, except the prompt that you saw about overwriting is because I didn't lose my 6th life. I'm just starting over. Some things that persist are the shards that you find around the map, which I have gotten a large amount of them, so you won't see them when I'm playing, as well as my followers' crafting skill levels. Once they're leveled up, they stay that way when you find them again in different plays. I'm going to try to play all of the events and everything on screen for you.
Dead again. Cold, pale flesh, a feast for maggots. I'm not finished with you. Not yet. You failed. I triumphed. A new cycle begins.
So that fire going out symbolizes him being reborn. When all the fires are gone, that's when it's game over and you gotta start fresh at the point I am now, keeping all of your persistent data.
Go on and fight. But know this. When the last flame goes out, there's no more resistance.
So this one torch right here, that's the one that he just snuffed out to bring you back to life. And then there's 6 remaining. So if you go to your unlocks, it says coming soon, but it's said that since the game came out, so who knows when that's actually going to happen. But as you can see, I found a lot of shards. It seems like when you first get your first one, it'll actually give you 3, the whole row at once. But then later on, you only get 1 tick per shard that you find. And then your followers. I don't have any right now, but it will show their skill levels. And that's been added since the last patch.
Work. Destroy. No one remains. You are alone, sinking in a sea of corruption. I'll soon drown you.
I guess he didn't see my daughter there.
No weapons. This will end quickly.
So the torch I just picked up, that's your first weapon. When you're holding your torch, it will actually raise your temperature by a few degrees. So it's always good to have. And if you're like me and you like to use the bow a lot, then having the torch will save you inventory spaces instead of using the actual weapons until you can get a good one later on. When fighting, when you do your first melee attack or when you get hit, it will auto-lock you on. And you can dodge roll like this, and it costs stamina. But it always keeps you facing when you're locked on. Leftmost button will be a light attack, and the rightmost button will be a heavy attack. And the heavy attack will take up pretty much all your stamina. So you want to be really careful. But you don't have to have a full bar to do a heavy attack. So that's really handy. So let's fight this guy. I like to attack right after I do a dodge. That way I know I'm not going to get interrupted. So now I'm going to cleanse this crystal. You just have to mash the left mouse button. You can see the little red line at the bottom there. The faster you mash the button, the less that red will progress. But it does not increase the speed that it cleanses at.
Here now. Nothing's going to hurt you.
Promise you won't leave me alone like that again, Dad?
Allie, I have to go find supplies. We're low on food and firewood.
Remember seeing the cargo ship in the mountains? I bet that's full of supplies.
Her mood changed awfully fast from
We'll just
begging not him to go to being eager to send him very far away. So now we're in the camp.
Bend and scrape. Eke out a life collecting sticks and bits of rotten food. Toil without ceasing. Or just lie down in your grave, waiting peacefully for your inevitable end.
So when you hold the F key, it will use your inner senses, which I'm assuming you've gotten from having that thing possess you, bringing you back to life. It will highlight all of the nearby items that you can gather or interact with, but it does not show enemies. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is go to your stash here and grab the healing item and the fiber. And we can put all the other, or we're going to keep the grub root, but we can put the blight bane, the essence away. So when we go to crafting, the first thing we're going to want to do is make some fiber. The grub root is very versatile. It can be used for many things. So initially we want to use it for making fiber. We want 2 of these pouches, and we also want a bow as the first thing that we get. So, and then we're going to want to make an axe, and then armor last, right here. This one is optional. I don't really need the warmth. I'm good enough, and with my shard bonus, I can survive long enough to wait until I get the next level of it, so I don't have to waste 3 pristine remains. But that's all up to you. For the hot bindings, I like to replace them. I like to put this on number 1, and then you'll get a more powerful one. I like that to be in number 2, and then number 3 I'll put the hunting arrows, which are level 2 arrows, and number 4 I like to put the normal arrows, because when you shoot your last arrow, it will unequip your bow, and you'll have to go into the inventory screen to re-equip your arrows. But as long as you push the hotkey button before you run out of arrows,
The healing poultice.
it won't unequip your bow.
Dreaming.
So it's really handy.
Are far too deep.
So the first place we're going to gather is just right underneath the ice ceiling here at the wall of your base.
Once I choke these death sticks, your camp will be laid waste.
So you'll find these all over the map. Once you grab one, they don't come back. After you listen to them, it'll drop a pouch that always has a summoning crystal, which you can use later on. I'm not sure if the other items are random or not. But once you get to the second part of the map, which is going to be a third part of the map, I should say, because this area is Sector 1, and then we've got Sector 2 here. So that these are outposts that you can claim. And then Sector 3 is where you start to get the higher level enemies, as well as you start to get iron ore and writhing remains, and I think it's imbued wood that you get. There's some vines here that block your way. I spent hours earlier trying to figure out how to get through there, but how you access it is you have to come around from the north and then come down. So in this first episode, what we're going to be doing is just gathering some nearby components and starting our base camp. At the end of every game day at night, I think it's at night, could be in the morning, you'll get a wave of monsters that attack you. And they'll often get stuck in these walls or in the snow above.
Sustaining things. Concentrated here, they are too strong.
So initially I'm just gonna, let you guys watch some of these scenes where it's easier, but later on when there's a lot going on around me, you can actually, once you activate and he pops out, you can run around gathering other things while he's lecturing you. Let's see here. We might as soon as you hear it see it say the refuge, you can open your menu and just throw stuff in the stash. You need 12 wood to make a fire. So this is the greater healing one that I had mentioned. So just while I have it on me, I'm going to hotkey it up just so it's there. And just always throw your wolf. You won't be able to summon those for quite a while. And I like to save the higher level ones. Bloodhog, Blightbane, Essence. So we can get our first pouch here now. Oh, right. Since I accidentally opened this, we might as well start building our first building. Place it. You won't be able, it won't actually do anything until you get your first follower, so So the first thing we're going to want is a hut. So we'll put that there. And just right away, I like to upgrade or queue the... Well, you can't do it until it's built, sorry. But after it's been built, I like to queue the first 2 upgrades. So as soon as we get a follower, he's going to start doing that. And we won't be able to cut trees down until we get an axe. You don't want to make too much fiber because it's easy to get. So you only want to make what you need. So you can hold 2 pouches. So now I got I think it was 3 more inventory slots. So we're gonna go get our first piece of pristine wood. We're gonna probably get attacked here. And I got some fiber in there too, so that's another reason you don't want to burn all the grub, because you can turn it into food as well as you can turn it into healing items. We didn't get attacked there. Awesome. I think there's a shard on top of this, but once you get them there, they don't come back. Might as well keep the torch out. It makes you more likely to be attacked though, because your stealth meter is full brackets. So these guys, you wanna dodge them. They'll either spit the acid thing at you, or they'll spit a thing at you that will turn into a like that. It'll explode on you. Now you got to be careful with those. If you attack them, and if his life would have jumped up a little bit, that means that he's going to be a suicide exploder. It just happens randomly. Sometimes it'll happen after you kill them, sometimes it'll happen when they're very low on life. Once you get a bow, if you can spare the arrows, it's really, really handy to shoot those ravens whenever you see them, because there's a chance that you can get pristine remains off them, and that, or even just normal meat, which is pretty big. So you want to look around when you're cleansing, because if like that on there on the ground, you want to dive roll and move out of the way. And if you're quick enough, you can push E again, and it will continue where you left off. Right after I take this out, I like to go into this special view senses or whatever, because if there's any corruption on the ground still, that helps get rid of it quicker, as well as it will identify where all the stuff it spits out is. You seem to always get a salvage or two from the bag he spits out, and you get 5 Eldritch essences, but until the very, very first time you take each one out, because I don't believe they're random on the map, it will actually spit out a shard usually. Now those blinking lights, that's from this thing up here. Don't know what it is. I'm not even sure if it's been revealed yet. But the blinking lights is where it's dropping crap. So other than not standing where it showed blinking lights, doesn't seem to be that dangerous. So we got a couple salvage now, and there's a guy. If you get too close there, they'll pop out, or even if like your stealth meter is too high, they'll pop out. So they're pretty easy to take on when they're the only one like that's near you. Just 3 heavy attacks will take him out. So he's just going to explode right away. I didn't dodge in time. You don't want to go too near. You can wait about 5 seconds. If you go into their corpse area, it'll actually burn you.
Frozen, echoing screams of those who drowned, trapped under the ice.
So I just used a healing item, and you can see in the top corner with the hand icon there, with the green circle that's counting down, that it's like a healing over time. So if you use another one, it's just gonna restart the green circle. So you don't want to use another one until you fully emptied that one out. Now that event that just popped up, that's gonna be for getting a follower, but depending on who the follower is, we might have to fight several back-to-back battles with some pretty tough enemies. So I don't like to do that until I've gotten myself a bow and I've got at least enough resources to keep the helper warm and fed once he joins my camp. Also, there's not much for your follower to do until you can build yourself an axe and a mining pick. The longer you can go without gaining a follower, really the better off your camp could be, just because you won't be spending a lot of wood and food maintaining them. Let's see if I can build anything yet. Did I get a second? No, I did not. I think I'm still needing pristine wood. I got a couple salvage though. So these up here, you see the blue. As you get starving, and when this is maxed and this is maxed, this blue will gradually take over, reducing your maximum life. But the reason that I got blue there, even though these aren't maxed out yet, is because that red bar that you see when you mash the button, cleansing, that's this. So the faster you mash the button, the less your maximum life gets replenished.
Diminishing your pain. The returning agony will be terrible.
So there's a chance for well, not a chance. A crusher will spawn near your beginning area. So it'll either be close to where I am here, or it'll be somewhere up in here. You only get one, and it seems to be random where it spawns. You won't be able to fight it, no matter how good you are, because until you get copper weapons, you won't be able to damage it whatsoever. So let's see. We need pristine wood before we can do anything. I know where there is always one, but let's see, where did I end up taking myself? It's right near starting in that first hut near your base. This, I think, is a church. There's a lot of enemies there, so I like to have a bow before I go in there. I just always like to scan my surroundings every time I move a little ways.
Without fire.
So there we got a tentacle vine that came out. You want to stay away from them, they'll jab you. And quite often all the enemies nearby will just get killed once you finish cleansing that. So if you can, you wanna just avoid fighting and focus on cleansing. Probably gonna get one scrap here. Scrap, salvage, same thing. There's some food. So I'm freezing now, but I'm not too worried about it, just because kind of, I have a little bit of experience, so I use these to counteract starving and freezing, because you get a lot of them from the game early on. That way I got more food and more lumber to spare for arrows and camp building early on when resources are very scarce. What's attacking us? Spitter. Oh, he wasn't even close. So those chests will usually have some nice stuff in them, but again, it's always safest to wait until you have a bow before you go into areas that you know there might be a claws. A claws is that enemy type with the big claws. Where's that building? Let me go back to camp so I can get my bearings straight again. As well as deposit in some of the stuff so our inventory is empty. Alright, now we're back at the beginning. A little bit harder to see when it's foggy and you're freezing and it's night. So these bushes that glow, I'm pretty sure what they are is if you crouch in them, it helps you hide. Now there's the building. I see it now. It's easy to get lost in this game, actually. here we go. That's that same event that keeps popping up. So there's going to be a guy. He's right in there. And he might come out. I'm not sure. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Usually if he is going to come out, it's going to be when you open that bag. So we got 1 pristine wood now. Come on, wake up. Wake up. You gonna wake up yet? Well, I guess he's scared of me. He doesn't want to come out. Okay, so can we craft anything yet? Oh, we can make an axe. Right on. Now we can get more pristine wood without having to find it as a loose collectible. So we want to go to this one here first. Actually, there might be a follower in my camp that wants to join me without even having to go out and find them. Those are the easiest ones to get. No combat. So I'm going to cut down this this area of trees, and then I'll go and see if there's any follower event in the camp, and if not, I'm just going to deposit everything, and we'll call that the end of the episode.
Against your mighty fists.
You don't want to cut down more than 1 tree at a time. I've had, the extra trees just disappear on you when they're kind of things, so it's just safer to leave them. And when you're in the camp here, let's see, you need to keep the axe on, yeah? Just throw everything else inside. So that's why I like to manually do this one. It's just because it's so close. You might as well do it yourself and save your followers the effort. Because after you take out when you cut down the first tree, it'll turn from this kind of yellow icon to this icon with a line. So the more trees that you cut down, this line will go down, making it empty. So now if I had followers, they'll just automatically come here and harvest on their own and bring the stuff back by themselves. And as you saw, just grabbing the 1 tree, so this 1 tree, this is all, aside from these 2 items, the other stuff is pretty much what I always have as bare minimum survival gear. There's a blizzard coming, so you want to get indoors somewhere. When you scan the area, you'll see a blue line on the map sometimes, and that means that it's a shelter area that you can light the fire in and hide from the blizzard. If you put a fire on the ground during a blizzard, it won't actually save you. It'll just blow out. So you would need to build wrong construct. So you can build this item here if you're really strapped, but you're better off going to the blue line and just using one of these, because this one only needs 12 wood, where this needs 24 wood and a pristine lumber. And just to show you guys, you know, what it's like to be stuck in a blizzard, I'm not gonna go and get shelter quite yet. I'm gonna try and finish cleaning this grove of trees before the storm comes, because I think this is the last tree. It's getting really cold. It's negative 27 degrees now, so I'm really freezing my ass off.
Wait outside for the storm.
Yeah, that was the last tree. I'm pretty sure, unless I can grab these. Oh no, 3 trees left. Once the blizzard comes, it's gonna get to like negative 70 degrees, so it's gonna be cold. Even more, negative 90. So I don't want to be playing around now. So you won't be able to sprint. So if you dive roll, you can actually move quicker. You can see how fast my maximum life is going down. So when that empties out completely, it'll be game over. And now the winter event is probably ended, unless it's counting me as indoors, because it's only negative 15 now, and I can sprint. I guess there is no follower event there. I'm not sure why that went. That star went right here. Okay. Well, there's 2 more trees, so I'm just going to go grab those other trees and warm myself up here, and then I'll see you in the next episode.